Hey there, I'm Emily, host of the 3315 Hear the Blessed, the show where we talk about being a young Christian in crazy times. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of the 3315 Here to Bless. In today's episode, I just want to remind you all, as we enter this new year, to focus on God. I think we can all agree that we live in a society that's pretty me-focused. We're told to follow our dreams. We want everything to go our way, from the weather being the way we want it to having riches and fames. I want to be happy, me. But does that really make people happy? A good book on this topic is It's Not About Me by Christian author Max Lucado. In the first chapter of the books, he writes, God does not exist to make a big deal out of us. We exist to make a big deal out of Him. That is our purpose, to worship Him, to glorify Him, to go out and spread the good news of the gospel, the good news of His word. We don't exist just for me and my pleasures. God isn't some genie that is there to answer our prayers and make everything the way we want it. If it was like that, it would be chaos. And I'd recommend getting this book. It's a great read, chock full of wisdom and good reminders that it's, well, not all about me. And someone from the Bible who I think exemplified this well was John the Baptist. John's purpose was to prepare the way for Jesus. He was the voice shouting in the wilderness, prophesied by Isaiah. For a time, he gathered a great following. Even 2 of the 12 disciples were with him before they went to follow Jesus. And even once Jesus' fame began to rise, he was not angry. He was happy that Jesus' fame was growing. Look at what happened in John chapter 3, verses 22 through 30. Then Jesus and his disciples left Jerusalem and went into the Judean countryside. Jesus spent some time with them there, baptizing people. At this time, John the Baptist was baptizing at Aenon near Salim, because there was plenty of water there, and people kept coming to him for baptism. A debate broke out between John's disciples and a certain Jew over ceremonial cleansing. So John's disciples came to him and said, Rabbi, the man you met on the other side of the Jordan River, the one you identified as the Messiah, is also baptizing people, and everyone is going to him instead of coming to us. John replied, No one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. You yourselves know how plainly I told you. I am not the Messiah. I am only here to prepare the way for him. It is the bridegroom who marries the bride, and the bridegroom's friend is simply glad to stand with him and hear his vows. Therefore, I am filled with joy at his success. He must become greater and greater, and I must become less and less. John was happy fulfilling his purpose and happy that Jesus, the Son of God, was growing in success as he spread his message of the good news. Just like John, we should be happy fulfilling our purpose, which is all about God, all about spreading the word and worshiping him. As Jesus says in Matthew 6, verses 19 through 21, Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Wherever your treasure is, whatever it is you desire, that's where your heart will be. If it's riches and glory, your treasure, that's where your heart will be. If it's getting good grades in school, your heart will be in it. Whatever it is, your desires lie in what you treasure. That's what Jesus is saying here. And while it's not bad to want good grades in school or even have money, it's the love of money that's evil, not money itself. It can become a problem when what you desire becomes self-centered and all you want. So, what should we do instead? How can one shift to focusing more on God? Well, there's a couple of things we can do to go about it. First is to work on building your relationship with God through prayer, reading the word, worship, and faithfully following his will. Like any relationship, you have to put in the time and effort, so put in the work. Set aside a time every day to go get into the word and to pray. When you grow in understanding of God, you learn more about his amazing love for us, and in turn, we learn to love him more. Next would be to get rid of and limit potential distractions. Maybe it's putting away video games for a while, taking a break from certain hobbies, or even deleting social media. But whatever it is, if it takes up a lot of your time and focus to the point that it becomes a distraction from what matters in life, or it feels like you can't live without it, get rid of it. Take a break from it. See where you can make some changes in your habits and do it. And as you focus more on God, you'll find that the things of this world don't matter as much. When we focus on God and his glory, the things of this world don't seem to matter as much because they are temporary. So this new year, I encourage you all to focus on God, because when we do that, That's when we find our place in this world and find what truly matters. Now, before I end this episode, I just want to leave you with this parable of Jesus from Luke chapter 12, verses 13 through 21. Then someone called from the crowd, "Teacher, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me." Jesus replied, "Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that?" Then he said, "Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own." Then he told them a story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, "What should I do? I don't have room for all my crops." Then he said, "I know. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods, and I'll sit back and say to myself, 'My friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry.' My God said to him, 'You fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for?' Yes, a person is a fool to stir up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God." Focus on God. Focus on the things that are eternal, not what they're temporary, because those are going to be gone in the blink of an eye. God bless you, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions or would like to request a topic for me to talk about, you can find me on Instagram, Tumblr, or just if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, comment down below. God bless you.